Hi, everyone. I'm here with the Honorable Judge Bober from Broward County. I am Carla Lowry. I am a member of the board for the Hispanic Bar Association. Judge Bober is very involved, and we're all so proud to have him in as a part of our organization, but also as a judge in our county. The introduction that I can give about Judge Bober is that I've been in front of him many times, and every time anybody walks into the courtroom, he would give you the integrity, respect, and attention that any court should and does give. I always feel very like I'm being listened to, respected as an attorney, and I think that goes a very, very long way. So Judge, thank you so much, not only for being a part of the Hispanic Broward Bar Association, but for being an incredible judge.
Well, thank you very much for your kind comments, and it's nice to see you, albeit via Zoom today.
Exactly. We all had to name a Judge of the Month, and there was no doubt that you were going to be one of the highlights. So November, I think it was a very important month because of a big thing that's happening, which is the election, which we'll get to it soon as far as how important it is for people to vote. But I first just want to ask you to just tell us about yourself. And Judge Bober, we don't really know that you have a Hispanic heritage unless you tell us. That's not really your last name, right? Doesn't say much. So please tell us your background.
Sure. My background is my family immigrated to this country from Cuba. I was actually born in Cuba. My grandparents both had businesses there. I had, on one side of the family, my father's side, my grandfather owned a general store / garage, gas station, and he did very well in business. On the other side of the family, I had a grandfather that worked as a jeweler in the jewelry business. And up until Castro came to power, that's what they were doing. My father, before he immigrated here, was an electrical engineer working for Havana Power and Light, went to University of Havana. And so basically Castro came to power. And I had a very large family in Cuba. Had aunts, uncles, cousins, and within probably 2 to 3 years after Castro came to power, everybody left and came to the United States, which was a very difficult transition for a lot of them because they left most of them with nothing and had to start over.
And they seem to have a pretty nice lifestyle in Cuba. So that must have been a big change once they got here.
Yeah. I mean, in my father's case, he initially went to New York City, actually got a apartment in Queens. He really didn't speak too much English. So he took low-level jobs and had to really work his way back up. And eventually he did get employed as an electrical engineer. And we stayed in New York up until the mid-'60s. And then he was offered a job with Florida Power and Light, and then had a number of different jobs as an electrical engineer, working his way up after that.
So eventually you migrated to Florida then?
Yeah, eventually. We lived here for a few years, then we went back to New York, and then finally in 1972, we moved down here permanently. And I ended up going to high school at Hollywood Hills High.
Oh, so you're very local.
Very local, at least by Broward County standards. I mean, we've been here permanently since 1972.
Wow. Okay. And when you went after high school, where did you go to college?
I went to undergraduate degree at Florida Atlantic University. I graduated high school at 16, finished college at 19. Then I went to Tulane University Law School, and really by, let's see, passed the bar when I was 23. So that's just zipped right through.
You know, one of my questions that I was going to ask you is, when did you know you wanted to be a lawyer? But from the path, it seems like you were pretty set and you had a path.
I really had a good inkling that was one of the things I wanted to do. And as a kid growing up, social studies was always my favorite topic, and just interest in law, how things work, the government, and a lot of different things in that area. It's just a question of finding a niche where I really wanted to be. And law was definitely probably at the top of the list of things that I was interested in doing. I ended up getting my undergraduate degree in public administration, applied for law school, and decided to go to law school, Tulane in New Orleans, which I love that school. I love the city, so I had a really good experience there.
A big easy,
And
right?
then, while I was in New Orleans, I ended up with working with the district attorney's office, and that's how I ended up on the path to practicing criminal law. And then since I became a judge, I've been in the criminal division. So I really was a path that I went on and enjoyed.
Because a lot of people that are seeing this probably don't know how your division, to me, it's very fascinating. Can you explain what is the division that you currently?
I work in what's known as Rock Court, which I believe stands for Recidivist Offender Court. It's really a court where everyone charged with a higher offense, particularly violent offenses, that qualifies as either a habitual offender or a prison releasee reoffender or a violent felony offender because of their past history. They get designated as being eligible for my court. And there's one other habitual judge, right now it's Judge Murphy, that has the other division. And by random pick, they either send it to me or Judge Murphy. And if you qualify under that designation, you ended up in my court or Judge Murphy's. And the reason for the existence of our courts is because of the complicated nature of the various statutes that are applicable, the seriousness of the offenses. They want judges that are more experienced and attorneys that are more experienced to handle those cases, and that's what that was the theory behind establishing our division. I think about 25 years ago.
So really, in lay terms, we're going to say you see the tougher cases. You see the very complicated, hardcore
it's mostly
criminals.
First and second degrees. Typical cases are burglary dwellings, robberies, carjackings, murders, attempted murders, kidnapping, sexual assault. The really significant cases that are very serious, and where the time that the offender is facing potentially is significant.
Now, in having a Hispanic background, has it helped you at all in your career?
It has, because in most of the jobs I had, I dealt with a lot of Hispanic clients. As a matter of fact, when I worked as a public defender before I was a judge, I was one of the few lawyers in the office that could speak Spanish. And as a result, rather than giving a case in a different division to a lawyer that would need an interpreter, they just either it to me or one of the other Spanish-speaking lawyers in the office. So I utilized my Spanish a lot when I worked in the public defender's office, and it helped with clients, witnesses, in every different case that I had during the course of my career. I utilized it a lot, so it was a great benefit to me.
Good, good. Judge, this is obviously not only a big year, and it's been a difficult year for so many people. I know we all know we have a big election coming up. Why do you think it's so important for everyone, especially Hispanics, to vote?
I think, and I think things have really improved a lot over the years as people have realized the importance of the vote. I think over the last 20 years, it has improved a lot in terms of people understanding the seriousness of voting. Hispanics in particular, years ago, I think were underrepresented as a percentage of Hispanics who actually voted, that went out and voted. You had Hispanic candidates that were running, and they had no chance of getting elected in Broward because Hispanics didn't vote. And that has changed. You've had a number of Hispanics elected to various offices around the county. You've had judges of Hispanic background that actually won an election. That was rare, if ever, that it happened more than you go back over 20 years. So I think people are, the Hispanic population, number one, is growing in Broward. But they also are, the word is getting out there that, hey, it's important that you vote. The issues, the policy, the way people are treated, everything gets affected. And in a lot of ways, even the local politicians have a greater effect on day-to-day stuff than the national politicians. So I think it's trending in the right direction. I think you can never become complacent because it is important that people are voting, and I'm very happy about that.
Judge, on behalf of myself, but the Hispanic Bar Association, we're so privileged that you are again in our community. You're a judge representing not only all of Broward County, but the Hispanic Bar Association, the Hispanics, and our association really admires you and loves the fact that you're so involved. So thank you so much for giving us.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you, the Hispanic Bar, for the honor. I greatly appreciate it. And
we will hopefully see you in person very soon.
Hopefully, this will be a memory and not too far in the future, and we can go back to normality. I look forward to that.
The way I think of it is 2020, we don't count, so we're all a year younger.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you again, Your Honor, and good to see you. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.